Hello, I'm Megan Catherin of Megan Catherin Enlightenment, and I want to welcome you to one of my spiritual adventures. So, I wanted to share with you guys how I kind of woke in my body. I've been talking about how it was all very new to me, all of this stuff, but I have been interacting with my girlfriend who was showing me how to use cards and a pendulum. And I was going well with the pendulum. Like it was like an extension of me. The intuition was coming through. It could help me ask questions. And I was on that field of asking questions. But I was finding when there was other people, so her giving me a reading, it was a bit hit and miss at times. And she said to me, "What's going on?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "You're not really in your body." And I didn't really understand what that meant, right? At all. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I'll talk a little bit about what I kind of think of it now. But at the time, I didn't really understand what she meant. And what she asked me to do was, okay, the cards are in front of you. You're shuffling the cards. You're going to lay them out. I'm going to read them, read you, whatever. What I had to do, what she asked me to do, was to really breathe deep, to bring all my energy back into myself, be in my center, be in the focus, not be distracted by the room or what else was out there or my thoughts of other things, or like, because we often meet at cafes to do this. So, be aware of a lot of things. And so it was this thing of being in me, really being with the question or being with the openness of asking spirit, what is my priority? Asking my higher self, what do I need to know? So it was even just an open-ended question directed at that higher energy. So I needed to feel that higher energy. So over time, I got better at this, and she was able to read things because she was finding that I was laying out cards when she'd say, "Oh, lay out some cards, pick some cards." And I'd just flip those cards out and she'd get the pendulum and it'd be like, nothing's happening. I'm getting no's for all of this. And so this is when it was understood that I wasn't in that container, in that zone, in that openness of let's get an answer. I was in protection mode, distraction mode, outside my body, in the sense that all my energy was out there filtering, putting up all these protections or whatever else it was doing. Parts of my spirit was still to be brought in. That is the part of the integration, particularly. And I didn't really know any of this. This was all beyond me. I didn't know all this. So I was just following that lead, but it was part of intuition, part of learning to feel it in my body. And recognizing I am actually an empath, and I believe everybody is when they're in the flow. But what am I empathing to? What is my energy holding on to? What are the old things that are creating and pulling and pushing? And so, yeah, I was opening up to let's find out and take control of your energy, Megan. Let's take control of your thoughts, your energy, your field of expression. I didn't know that at the time. Okay, it was all very innocently just, I want to know more about myself. I'm fascinated. I don't know what is calling me to follow this, but I am following this airy, very weirdo shit, right? I was like, okay, let's do it. But interestingly, what started happening when I would practice this, breathe, be with myself, be in the moment, be here, let everything else drop away, I was starting to open up. So over the course of a couple of weeks, she actually pulled me out one day when I just shuffled the cards, got into my space, laid out the cards for her to read and myself to read. It was all part of, I was doing readings at home already, but it was safe zone, right? But when you're doing it with somebody else and they're going to read you, are you willing to open up and let them fully in? Okay. And where are you? Where are you located? What else is in the environment that you are busily trying to keep a hold of, right? So the container is very important. Where you are is very important. How and what your habits are energetically a part of what you're breaking down and re-strengthening yourself, bringing yourself back to center. As I said, didn't know any of this at the time. It was all very innocently just following this path. And she said to me, "What happens?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "When you pick cards now, you get a funny look on your face." Now, this is the funny part of the story. And it may not be funny to others, but to me, it was embarrassing because I actually recognized, and I hadn't really fully, when you just, something's happening, but you never really fully focus on it. And this is part of not wanting to, having that antibody thing. I didn't like my body, didn't like myself. There was a lot of things I wasn't prepared to look at. Energetically, I was soon to learn more about all of that, the deep dive into what else is there in the metaphysical me, right? But part of this was this embarrassing part that I was feeling tingles in my butt, in my thighs and my butt and all that area. I was like, so when it was like, oh, the right card, or I'm in the space, or she's speaking truth to me, or I feel like this is truth, I get these weird tingles in my butt. Now, it was a little bit different to, I got the goosebumps, when you get the goosebumps flush that, oh, this is right, or this is truth, or this is amazing, when someone sings and they seem to hit that note of that inspiration stream, and you feel it. You feel it in yourself, that flush, right? Well, this was different. And now when I feel into this, I was like, I want to tell this story. I want to tell how it was my butt that opened up first, right? The energy in my butt and the embarrassment. I was thoroughly embarrassed. And I didn't know that it was showing on my face, that she was like, you get this funny look on your face when you're pulling the cards, and you kind of, when you pick that one, or you shuffle and you pick that one, or I was like, oh, okay. What it was, what I know now, is that it was the opening to the seat of my soul. Funny, it's my butt, right? Not really, it's the seat of my soul. It's actually where the Kundalini rises from. And I knew nothing about that sort of stuff. That came way later. But the Kundalini is the connection to your spirit body. Now, your spirit body is made up of many fields, many energies, many avatars and vehicles, as I've called them, and collective fields and individual fields. And what the ascension process is, the bringing it into unity, 5D body, is to bring those energies into a very cohesive flow. And so there's a change in how our energetic bodies are, how and what we're tuning into. But I was opening up to this field of me, this soul of me, where I'd been, what I'd done, what energies I was still upholding, part of, aspects of self, aspects of beingness, the soul collective, the soul group, all of that was opening up to me. This was me opening to the new journey of soul integration, as I later came to call it. Integrating my soul, being aware of the multidimensional nature of me, eradicating traumas and blocks and lack of flows, unplugging and deleting from things that were pulling on my energy, all the genetic and ancestral stuff that needed to be resolved, the matrix stuff. It was the very beginnings. I opened up to the seat of my soul, and my body would feel it. Now, I get tingles everywhere, all over my body on a regular basis. I can feel energy coming and going. It does all sorts of things. But that was the beginning of comprehending that I was actually very empathic, as we all are as we're born, mostly. There's but there's a few that aren't. I don't know what that is, but that's another thing. And so there is this sense that we get shut down by these energies, by the way people use their energy, by the way they interact with us. And they're not aware of it mostly. They're not consciously using their energy. And so you have to become conscious of, what is my energy doing? What is my soul involved in? Where is all my energy, my creation energy? And intuition is the doorway to that. Kundalini is the connection of those energetic bodies. Yes, we talk about the chakral Kundalini, but there's this energy connection to the soul and beyond, because we aren't just soul. We become the one soul, and then we are part of the heavenly body. And what is the heavenly body doing? What is that connection? What is the source connection for New Earth? What is the collective connection for 5D? What is all the other dimensional connections? These are all part of us as intergalactic beings, universal cosmic expressions. Words. So back then, very beginnings, opening up and feeling just a tad embarrassed about my body and what it does. And we shut that down because we are taught, oh, you shouldn't feel things down there, right? Or if you're feeling something down there, you must be sexually attracted to that person. Nothing to do with that. It was just about the Kundalini movement, shift, feeling energy in many different ways. And the seat of my soul, well, it's very, very obvious that the seat of my soul is at the very base of my body. That's where it decided to really open up and be felt first. All right, I hope that's helpful to you. If you're interested in more of how I see life or what I'm flowing with in terms of illumination, higher energies, the 5D, the New Earth Advisory Board, as I call a lot of my team, then you might be interested in my membership. You just need to look up Patreon, and it's Megan Catherin Enlightenment. And yeah, it's a monthly membership. You can join for a month and you get all the other months too. And so you can just dive in where your intuition and your soul and your higher source self take you. So it's fun. And you can also join us online and flow in the currency that is going on at the moment in that high energy flow towards what I call navigating towards New Earth. So wonderful. Thank you so much. I will see you in another of my spiritual adventures very soon. Bye.